Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates.
FIS MoneyGram, the safest and most convenient way to send money worldwide. MoneyGram, bringing you closer. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Monday, the 27th day of April 2020. Hope and I trust that everyone had an enjoyable, restful, peaceful weekend, with yesterday, Sunday, being a hard curfew day, almost total lockdown. Everyone, of course, would have had an opportunity to spend time at home with your families. We have a lot of time to do that these days, and while that is happening under unusual circumstances, at the end of the day, we can use that in a positive light, take advantage of it, and enjoy our loved ones. Because many times we're distracted by work and other activities, and we don't necessarily spend as much time with our families that we should be spending with them as well. So I hope and I trust that everyone had an enjoyable weekend. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you and to your families. And we hope and we trust that your faith will help you carry you through these very challenging times. Again, we want to send out condolences to the family of the late Miss Esther Ebanks, former member of our Legislative Assembly as well. And we heard during the LA sitting that there was a minute of silence observed in her honor, and the Premier also ordered that all flags be flown at half-staff for the rest of that day and for another day as well. We know also that in these challenging times, arranging and having the type of send-off that you would normally want to have for family members, that is virtually impossible. Some families are holding off to see whether or not the situation will change, that will allow for larger numbers of persons to be at funerals. We'll see what happens with that as well. So again, our condolences go out to everyone, including the family of Miss Esther Ebanks. And a little further away from home, the former speaker in the Bermuda Parliament, Mr. Stanley Lowe, he passed away over the weekend as well. I recall on my first trip to Bermuda, and I think I was on attachment with the Bermuda Immigration Service at the time, and paid a visit to their parliament, met Mr. Lowe, and he certainly one of the first persons that he asked for was our national hero, and the speaker Honourable Sybil McLaughlin as well, and he asked me to convey his regards to her. On other occasions, when the late Edna Moyle was Speaker of the House on a visit there again, he also, asked about her and conveyed his, wanted to say, hello to her and as well. So again, close connection with Bermuda, the Speaker, and we want to extend our condolences to the people of Bermuda and to Mr. Speaker Stanley Lowe's family as well. For those of you who are celebrating our birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. And I normally say whatever you do it in moderation. There may be no other option but for you to do it in moderation these days with the COVID-19 situation still around us. And we will talk about a little bit about that today. We see some good news coming out of some countries. New Zealand basically has said that they have basically eliminated the coronavirus. I'll share an article with you on that as well. So, if you're on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we know that there's not as much traffic on the roads, and we see people taking advantage, of that by driving at excessive speeds. Again, this morning, similar situation. But it's not limited, unfortunately, to Cayman. It's seems to be a worldwide phenomenon now that with the roads empty, people are speeding. And of course, the police services, they have so many other things that they're concentrating on. It's not that easy to keep that under control as well. So we're just simply urging you, if you're a driver, if you're out there, drive normal. Don't take advantage of the situation, because while there may be less vehicles on the road of the Cayman Islands, you're still putting your safety, your life in danger, as well as those other drivers or road users as well. So you want to be extremely careful about that also. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and the management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that time, our phone lines are always open, with the beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us on 925-3261. Send us a text message or leave us a voice note. The contents will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Of course, on Friday, we had our press briefing, daily press briefing. There was not one on Thursday because of the meeting, the virtual meeting of the Legislative Assembly, and that went off well, and we saw the results of that. We saw MLA and Mr. Anthony Eden sitting in the chair as Speaker. We saw later on Miss MLA, Miss Barbara Connolly, being chosen, elected as the new Deputy Speaker of our Legislative Assembly as well. And all of the business of the legislature was taken care of. I will try to see if we can find information about the bill and where it is, so that we know when it has actually become law. And of course, the process for that is that the governor has to assent to it first, to any bill, and there are several of them, amendments. And after that, then they have to be gazetted. Once they're gazetted, then they become law as well. So we will start today's show. We expect around about 8:30 to be talking with members, with staff from the Department of Tourism, and we will be talking about tourism related e-learning webinars. That will take place around about 8:30. So we will have an open line before that, between now and 8:30, and then once that interview is over, we will continue to have an open line as well. So a review of Friday's press briefing. Out of 154 tests, it was reported that there were 4 positives, with 2 determined to be community-based infections. So out of 154 tests, there were 4 positives. Of course, there are still several outstanding results that are being awaited as well. And I think Dr. John Lee said that he had expected that he would hope that he would get those before the end of the press briefing. Of course, no additional information was shared in relation to that, and there were no press briefings on Saturday or yesterday, so we will await today's test briefing to see what press briefings are, to see what the new figures are. Another highlight of that press briefing was that all educational institutions are closed for the rest of the 2019-2020 school year. Also pointed out that flights to Cancun, Mexico will take place this week, and that pensions contributions are not required by law for the next 6 months. So the pensions holiday as well. So those were the highlights, and we'll go into a little bit more detail. Says Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reported that out of the 154 tests conducted on samples obtained up to the 21st of April, 4 tested positive. Of these, 2 had connections to previous positive cases, and 2 were community acquired. Of the 70 positives now, 33 are symptomatic, 22 asymptomatic, 8 persons are in hospital, 4 at Health Services Authority, and 8 recovered. Dr. Lee also apologized for results not yet in for those who returned on the British Airways flight 15 days ago, and thanked them for their patience. And he also pointed out these results were expected later on that day, like I pointed out earlier. Also, Dr. Lee pointed out that Doctors Hospital, which is also known as Chrissy Tomlinson Memorial Hospital, has now started testing. He pointed out that groups such as frontline healthcare workers, the prison population, and elderly in care homes are amongst those to be tested in phase 1 of the expanded testing program. Phase 2 will be broader in numbers and include all persons working and facing the public, such as supermarket, gas station, banks, and social workers, as well as the police. So that's all in Phase 2. I'll repeat that. Phase 2 will be broader in numbers and will include all persons working and facing the public on a daily basis. For instance, supermarket staff, gas station staff, bank staff, and social workers, as well as the police. They pointed out that this will start soon, during which all persons on Little Cayman will be tested. And then Phase 3 will be broader in scope and could take the form of a sample testing program, which will help determine which groups could be allowed to go back to work. He also pointed out that Cayman continues to be in the suppression stage of the response to COVID-19, and that children, including babies, are tested in the same way as adults. Time for us to take a commercial break. When we return, I will provide you with additional information as was provided to us on the press briefing on Friday. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
In the 1770s, the British demand for cotton was in full swing, and as cotton prices rose, the British West Indies became key to the British prosperity, with the Cayman Islands seeing a short boom in the cotton industry. The peak of the cotton trade was between 1802 to 1804, with approximately 25 small ships transporting cotton between Grand Cayman and Jamaican ports. Vessels returning from Jamaica brought more slaves in return, which reflected the growing population and the growth in the plantation economics of Grand Cayman. At its peak, Cayman was producing between 40 to 60 tons of cotton per year, and in 1802 there were 545 slaves divided among 88 owner families. The cotton trade was a relatively short-lived economic boom, as the U.S., due to mass slave labor, proved to be able to produce cotton on mass scales, pushing the West Indies out of the cotton industry.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Breathing is everything. If you cannot breathe, making money means nothing. If you can't breathe, the beauty of the beach means nothing. If you can't breathe, fellowship is impossible. The coronavirus takes your breath away. With no vaccine, with no cure, our current solution is keeping your distance and staying at home. Remember, there is nothing without breathing. Breathing is living. Breathing is everything. Let's stay in the business of breathing. Business will come later. Do your part. Keep your distance. Stay at home. If you have to be out and about, remember, 6 feet apart is better than 6 feet below. This is Rotary Central saying, live to breathe, breathe to live, because breathing is everything.
I remember playing at 7 Mile Beach as a boy, eating mango by the sea, learning how to snorkel. My mother, she worked so hard to provide for our family so that we could have those moments. Seeing her age has been tough. That strong, capable woman, now in need of daily support, it's my time to be strong for her.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of the careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Vamped Motors encourages everyone to stay home in compliance with our government's directives, which are absolutely critical to protect our islands from the coronavirus. In light of this, Vamped Motors will be closed until our Cayman Islands government gives us the all clear to return to work. Please, everyone, be safe and let's get through this together by staying apart.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes, Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Sending money to your family overseas shouldn't be a full-day process. Stop waiting in lines. MoneyGram, the safest and most convenient way to send money worldwide, offering 3 convenient locations: Shedden Road, Baden Water Sports in West Bay, and at FIS Brack Agency in Cayman Brack. MoneyGram by Financial Integrated Services. Visit fiscayman.com for more information on MoneyGram services. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs, with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have no guests in the studio yet. We expect to have officials from the Department of Tourism on the phone after the 8 o'clock news, around about 8:30. We expect to have them on the line. Meanwhile, we have an open line and we have one caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Ms. Dorsey. Hope you had a good weekend.
Good morning. I did, thanks, and I trust the same for you as well.
Oh, yeah, very pleasant. I have one quick observation and then a question, please.
Okay.
With the dark clouds, the silver lining, and the people came on, we have such a great opportunity to really bond with the elderly and the children. And all they're thinking about how they can get back to the bar half hour and everything,
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much to be gained now. Sit down and talk with parents and grandparents and play with bond with your children. And just making it slip by,
Yep. So true.
The only other thing I want to find out is I have been trying to find out the stats about Cuba, like how many died, what's the present thing in there, and when are the doctors planning to come, and if has Cuba closed her borders, or can flights go to Cuba?
Cuba has closed its borders as well, and so any flights going in and out of Cuba, they all have to be approved by the Cuban government. Well, and I must say that even before COVID-19, when it came to, despite the fact that there were many commercial flights into Cuba, a lot of the U.S. airlines before Trump reversed some of what Barack Obama did, President Obama did, that they still basically tightly controlled entry and exit, out of Cuba, but even more so now. Yes.
But how the stats on Cuba? Like, what is their position with the coronavirus?
They have 1,369 confirmed cases, 3,461 suspected cases, I believe there are. 501 persons recuperated and 54 deaths. Those are the numbers. But, of course, some people are skeptical about reports coming out of Cuba in terms of the accuracy of them.
I expect that, because anything America can do to say bad about Cuba, they're going to do it. They can have spies in Cuba, they should know it true. And I was just wondering about that, because I need to go to Cuba for some medical reasons, and I'm very interested when they will be opening up,
Okay, Cole. That was it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. You do the same as well. Okay. I spoke earlier. We won't have enough time to go through more of the press briefing, the details from that. But I spoke earlier about New Zealand, and there's an article on the BBC's website, Coronavirus, New Zealand claims no community cases as lockdown eases. And of course, New Zealand had been touted as being one of the more countries with more success in controlling the COVID-19 virus. They took early action in terms of lockdown and everything, and they have seen positive results of that. So the article points out that New Zealand says it has stopped community transmission of COVID-19 effectively, which is effectively eliminated the virus. It says with new cases in single figures for several days, one on Sunday, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said the virus was currently eliminated, but officials have warned against complacency, saying it does not mean a total end to new coronavirus cases. The news comes hours before New Zealand is set to move out of its toughest level of social restrictions. From Tuesday, some non-essential businesses, healthcare, and educational activity will be able to resume. Most people will still be required to remain at home at all times and avoid all social interactions. They're quoted as saying, "We are opening up the economy, but we're not opening up people's social lives," the Prime Minister is quoted as saying. And the article goes on to point out that New Zealand has reported fewer than 1,500 confirmed or possible cases of coronavirus and 19 deaths as well. It also points out that New Zealand's Director General of Health says the low number of new cases in recent days does give us confidence that we have achieved our goal of elimination. He warned that elimination did not mean there would be no new cases, but it does mean we know where our cases are coming from. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And time check now by Foster's. Studio time now is 7:59.
Be Cayman kind and support our community. Next time you shop at any Foster's supermarket or Priced Right location, help support those in need by donating any amount to our charity partners. You can choose to help people, help animals, or you can even support both. We're currently supporting Cayman Food Bank, Cayman Islands Meals on Wheels, Feed Our Future, ARC, Cayman Islands Humane Society, PAWS, and One Dog at a Time. Donate at the register next time you shop at Foster's or Priced Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Value Med Pharmacy, with 2 locations to serve you, Walkers Road in Georgetown and an Evron Plaza, Boddentown. Visit Value Med, more than just a pharmacy. Need to make an essential outing for personal care items or prescription refill? Make Value Med Pharmacy your stop for essential products. Open daily under new curfew-restricted hours. Visit Value Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or in Boddentown. Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Boddentown location opens at 8:30 a.m. and on Sundays and holidays 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. A maximum of 3 customers allowed in store, and customers are encouraged to maintain social distancing while shopping. For faster prescription service, order online through value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. A study commissioned by the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce says businesses surveyed laid off 16% of their staff within the first 4 weeks of the COVID-19 shutdown.
Everyone knows the impact is negative, and we are all very concerned. But we felt that carrying out a formal assessment is an important first step. This enables us to better understand how certain sectors will be impacted and, importantly, the magnitude of the responses required to assist our workers.
Chamber President Woody Foster says they commissioned the survey in order to gather important data to inform decisions in the days and weeks ahead. He commended government on its swift actions regarding the outbreak.
The fact that we are in a position to begin our planning for some form of economic resumption is a credit to the government's quick actions to address the safety of everyone at the early onset of this pandemic.
Mr. Foster says it's important to move quickly toward the development of proposed economic resumption plans, with the public and private sector stakeholders working closely together. The study was carried out by local consulting company FTS. You can find out more by visiting caymanchamber.ky. And First Caribbean partners with the Kiwanis Club of Grand Cayman, the Department of Education, and Feed Our Future to provide meals or supermarket vouchers to 553 children at the local primary and secondary schools through the homeschool lunch program. Kiwanis Club Grand Cayman Director Katie Petney tells Radio Cayman the funds will be used to support the program's 553 students and specifically will provide 1 meal per student.
Initially, we planned for this program to be for the 6 weeks that schools would be closed, but now we are planning for it to run until the end of August, as long as we continue to receive support from the community and especially generous donors like CIBC First Caribbean.
Ms. Petney says before the island-wide school closure, students across the 3 government schools received free breakfast, snacks, and lunches on a daily basis, a number which started to grow as non-essential businesses closed. At the request of the canteens and schools, supermarket vouchers are now being provided for the students as well. In regional news, a group of 25 Dutch high school students with very little sailing experience ended a transatlantic voyage Sunday that was forced on them by the coronavirus restrictions. The children between the ages of 14 and 17, watched over by 12 experienced crew members and 3 teachers, were on an educational cruise of the Caribbean when the pandemic forced them to radically change their plans for returning home in March. Instead of flying back from Cuba as originally planned, the crew and students stocked up on supplies and warm clothes and set sail for the northern Dutch port of Harlingen, a 5-week voyage of nearly 7,000 kilometers on board the 60-meter topsail schooner Wild Swan. As they arrived home, the students hung up a self-made banner saying bucket list with ticks and boxes for Atlantic Ocean crossing, mid-ocean swim, and surveying the Bermuda Triangle. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News.
The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has made his first address since recovering from the coronavirus. Speaking outside Downing Street, he said he wouldn't throw away progress made so far by easing lockdown restrictions too soon. But he said the tide was beginning to turn. Schools in some of China's biggest cities, including Beijing and Shanghai, are reopening as coronavirus cases decline. The first pupils to return will be those preparing for this summer's university entrance exams. The European aircraft maker Airbus has warned the pandemic threatens the company's very existence. In a letter to staff, the chief executive said a third of Airbus's business had disappeared almost overnight. The Bank of Japan has set out plans to relieve the economic impact of the coronavirus. These include buying more government bonds to increase the money supply. Russia's parliament is considering removing a ban on the encrypted messaging service Telegram, as it's being widely used to promote government advice on coronavirus. It was banned in Russia 2 years ago. The Nigerian state of Lagos says it has started producing large numbers of face masks, which have now become mandatory in public places. Coronavirus cases there are continuing to rise. Officials in the Russian Republic of Chechnya have posted pictures of themselves with shaven heads on social media in response to calls for hairdressers to be allowed to reopen. Chechnya's leader has said people should shave their heads themselves during the coronavirus lockdown. The UN envoy to Yemen has expressed concern at Sunday's declaration of self-rule by separatists in the south of the country. Martin Griffiths called on all sides to refrain from taking exculpatory actions. And reports in the Czech Republic says a man travelling on a Russian diplomatic passport brought the deadly poison ricin into the country 3 weeks ago. Intelligence sources say 2 Czech politicians may be possible targets. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Value Med Pharmacy, with 2 locations to serve you, Walkers Road in Georgetown and an Evron Plaza, Boddentown. Visit Value Med, more than just a pharmacy. Did you know that Value Med Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with Value Med. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location, Value Med on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Breathing is everything. If you cannot breathe, making money means nothing. If you can't breathe, the beauty of the beach means nothing. If you can't breathe, fellowship is impossible. The coronavirus takes your breath away. With no vaccine, with no cure, our current solution is keeping your distance and staying at home. Remember, there is nothing without breathing. Breathing is living. Breathing is everything. Let's stay in the business of breathing. Business will come later. Do your part. Keep your distance. Stay at home. If you have to be out and about, remember, 6 feet apart is better than 6 feet below. This is Rotary Central saying, live to breathe, breathe to live, because breathing is everything.
The public is advised that all public beaches will be closed throughout the Cayman Islands for a full 24-hour hard curfew from the 17th of April to 5 a.m. 1st of May 2020. This means persons are prohibited from entering on, walking, swimming, snorkeling, fishing, exercising, or any type of activity on any public beach during these times. Private owners with beach access are not permitted beyond the high water mark. Stay home to save lives, Cayman.
A public service announcement from Radio Cayman.
You're pressing for everyone to use their good conscience. Don't be selfish in respecting the suggested distance of 6 feet and the washing of hands constantly. Please check on your neighbors and especially our elderly. Also, persons who have chronic lung disease diabetes, bronchitis, cancer, or asthma, check on your family members and isolate them soonest as possible. I ask those persons who smoke until it's clear, please do not put anything in your lungs that are not natural. You may well be increasing your risks. This includes vaping. Self-isolation is very important for our country's ability to bounce back quickly to some normalcy. This disease is not prejudice.
For the latest updates and information, please visit hsa.ky/public-health/coronavirus or gov.ky/coronavirus.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by On Course Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking. Change your life. Developing the giver's mindset can bolster any relationship.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, some of the biggest challenges in relationships come from the fact that most people enter a relationship in order to get something. They're trying to find someone who's going to make them feel good. In reality, the only way a relationship will last is if you see a relationship as a place that you go to give and not only a place that you go to take.
Change your thinking. Change your life. These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. On Course Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by On Course Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 90%. Barometric pressure 30.02 inches and rising. The winds are variable at 2 knots. Overnight low temperature was 78. Synopses indicate light winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a high pressure system over the western Atlantic Ocean. Radar images show isolated showers around the Cayman area, which are moving towards the west. The forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the upper 80s. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. And the forecast for tonight calling for fair to partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will dip to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this morning at 11:18. Low tide again this evening at 3 minutes past 6. The sun will set this evening at 6:45 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:59. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday morning.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
And good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Looking pretty good on North Sound Road as well as the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. Little steady but flowing traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway, but nothing to worry about too much. Traffic is moderate coming on from the east on Shamrock Road. And moderate flow of traffic in both directions on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. And traffic is light to moderate coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. And looking towards Sheridan Road, looking pretty good as traffic flowing moderately. And light traffic on Edward Street in front of the Georgetown Post Office. And traffic is light on Owen Roberts Drive. And pretty good flow of traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. We'll give you another update on traffic. Remember, take heed, reduce your speed.
Subway is helping to keep Cayman safe by limiting store openings and hours, offering curbside pickup and delivery right to your door. With 3 locations currently open to serve you: Anderson Square in Georgetown, Centennial Towers in West Bay, and Countryside Shopping Village in Savannah. Subway is open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on soft curfew days. Free delivery for orders with a minimum $20 purchase. Delivery times only from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Subway, helping you to enjoy your favorite foods in the safest way possible.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Do you have questions about your water service? We've got the answer. Keep up to date with what's happening at the Water Authority by checking our website, waterauthority.ky. You can also stay up to date by following our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken share.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken share.
I am not a chicken.
Whoa! I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Shelter in place. Stay home. Stay out of Johnny Public. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information: the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio, but at 8:30, hopefully, we will have participants from the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism talking about webinar, e-learning webinar that they host as well. One of our listeners has written in and said, "Good morning, my car inspection expired yesterday. Is there a waiver in place? Thank you." And I will share with you what took place in the Legislative Assembly in relation to the traffic amendments. I think we have a caller as well, but I need to share this with the person who sent in the WhatsApp message, sent it in quite a while ago. So, and some of this, I'll be reading most of it simply. In an historic meeting of the Legislative Assembly, members unanimously approved the onward passage of the Traffic Amendment Bill 2020, which will ease processes at the Department of Vehicles and Drivers Licensing. Moving the amendment to the traffic law, Minister for Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, Honorable Joey Hugh, said that the changes would provide the law flexibility and the ability to respond quickly during emergencies such as national disasters and pandemics. Similar legislative action, was undertaken by the UK during the SARS pandemic in 2004, and the Cayman Islands bill is based on those amendments, he noted. The amendment once passed, would give Cabinet the authority to issue suitable instructions to the Director of Licensing, both on issues or parts of the traffic law as well as regulations, he added. Notably, the local amendment allows vehicle licenses, and please listen carefully to this. The local amendment allows vehicle owners to now renew online without their vehicle certificate of roadworthiness being current for over 3 months. Due to the COVID-19 office closures, vehicle inspections have been suspended. Owners can then go online and complete the renewal process. So you will be able to renew online despite the fact that you do not have a certificate of roadworthiness that would normally be required to be in place for at least 3 months. Here's what Minister Hughes said. Mr. Speaker, I lay before this Honorable House the Traffic Amendment Bill 2020. The bill seeks to amend the Traffic Law 2011. It's meant to provide a quick response and flexibility to the traffic law in an emergency such as natural disasters, outbreaks, and or pandemics, where we haven't evoked the emergency powers law. Because of the current law's inflexibility, owners are not able to renew online without their certificate of roadworthiness being current for over 3 months. Other countries, such as the UK and New Zealand, amended their legislation some time ago. For instance, in the UK in 2004, we suspect for the SARS outbreak. As a result, they were able to quickly react to this pandemic. However, because it's difficult to predict every circumstances, we made it broad enough to allow flexibility in various segments of the law. It says, once passed, Cabinet will have the authority to issue instructions to the Director of Licensing on particular issues or part of the law and or the regulations. It will also allow for the said directives to be retrospective. For example, in our current circumstances, once the Cabinet issues the directive, the Director can extend owners' certificates of roadworthiness by 3 or 6 months as Cabinet deemed necessary. This will then allow owners to go online and complete the renewal process. So, yes, if you don't have a certificate of roadworthiness, you can renew your vehicle registration online. Yes, it can be done. That's the response to that person who sent the WhatsApp. Pretty long, but I wanted you to get the full picture of it. We have 2 callers. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm calling about this morning? This is, I guess, maybe something not too one of the popular topics now, but nevertheless, it's something that really concerns me.
Sure.
And that's the what should say, the litter, the amount of litter and garbage that's on the roadsides.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Saturday being Earth Day, I decided to go on the road in my neighborhood and pick up some stuff because, you know, every time I drive, I see stuff. So I say, you know, maybe Saturday I'll do that. Well, see, I was grieved and peeved, if I may say, by the amount of garbage and litter that was on the roadside. In just a few, where I live here up in Bordentown, Anton Borden Drive, you know, I covered an area, would say, a problem, maybe about 200 yards, one stretch about 200 yards, I would say 200-300 yards of the road, both sides. I collected a 30-gallon garbage can full of plastic stuff, a 20-gallon garbage can, and a couple of crates, those plastic crates, full of bottles.
Wow. And
3 small, the 13-gallon garbage bags of other stuff, styrofoam, paper, even old cloth and stuff. It was just, like I said, and what really gets me, I noticed, like, bags of household garbage thrown, on the side of the road in the bush.
Yes.
And may I mention, that what I picked up is what I could reach, because there was other stuff deeper in the bush that I could see, but I couldn't get to.
Yes.
And like I said, I noticed household garbage, a couple of bags. Well, they were fairly recent because the bags were still intact. And then there were quite a few bags that had been there for a while, that the bags had deteriorated and the stuff had started to come out. And like I said, this is normal household garbage.
Yes.
And I'm just appealing to people, man. Oh, my God. Have some pride in the community. And this is a main road, This is not even, like one of the off streets. If you really want to see some terrible stuff, you got to go down into the other side of the subdivision, the back of Lookout Garden, especially the new section. Oh my goodness, you would think it's Mount Trashmore East.
And it's not like the garbage isn't being picked up on a regular basis.
And that's it. It's free. All they got to do is put it out by the gate. Just leave your garbage at your gate or wherever it is. Once it's there, it'll be picked up. And like I said, thankfully right now the garbage guys are out regularly, and the stuff will be picked up.
Yes. Yeah.
But even so, when people driving, it's so easy. It's you just throw your window, you throw the bag, Burger King stuff, you throw the bag out, Kentucky stuff. It's amazing, or what I was say was dismaying to see the amount of stuff, like that, food packages, and oh God, man, people. I'm just appealing to people,
Yes.
Try and be a little bit more
considerate and
considerate, and have some pride, man. Have some pride,
Yeah.
And they say cleanliness is next to godliness. And we don't know how that, because stuff like that, you never know what's in it. It can be contaminated stuff or stuff, and God knows how it can affect us. Get into the air or into the ground.
And when you see things like that, sometimes you wonder, if they do it in public places, what are their homes like? Sometimes it's a reflection of really that person's lifestyle.
Yes, man. But I just thought I'd bring that because, like I said, it really peeves me when I drive around and I see the amount of garbage and stuff, trash that's thrown on our roadside.
Certainly.
When you get out and walk it, then you really see the extent.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. So I'm begging people, have a little bit more consideration, a little bit more pride.
Yes.
And just keep the stuff. If you have garbage in your car, you bag of Burger King stuff or Kentucky stuff, just wait until you get home. Or some other place, where you can find a garbage can and put it in,
Exactly, yeah.
So,
I want to thank you for doing your part and for, bringing it to everyone's attention, because the more we repeat it, hopefully, the more influence we will have on those culprits who do it as well. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, too, and have a good day, my
You
brother.
too. Let's grab another caller before we go to our break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Ossie. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Not too bad. This is Toots from West Bay.
Hey, Toots.
Electrician. Yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Briefly, Ossie, I overheard you on the air one day about this glaucoma illness.
Glaucoma, yes.
Eye sickness. I'm also a victim of it, and I was sent away to do implants.
Okay. Where did you go?
Jamaica.
Okay.
I'll give you my number on the air, and you can call me at your time of leisure, and we can talk about it.
Okay. But is it anything that you want to share with our audience as well? You think that may be useful to other persons?
Yes, I can share it on the air.
Okay, I'm going to tell you to still give Miss Susan your number. But from a public standpoint, if it's some good stuff, encouraging news, I think it would be useful for as many people to hear it as possible.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
So I went away. I was sent away because they can't handle it here because there's no cornea surgeon here to do that.
Okay.
There is a surgeon that comes to Jamaica once a month, and he works from Friday to Sunday, and Monday he leaves back to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the implant, which is a glaucoma valve, which is implanted in the eye.
Okay.
And he did that, but due to a lot of follow-up, I have to come back home in Jamaica through this coronavirus thing.
Mm-hmm.
And all your corridors are closed now. So what happened, when everything is ready, I have to go back and see him, but it was done through a doctor that comes here and worked in Dr. Manny's place.
Okay.
Dr. Zoe Winters. And she can't come to Cayman now anyhow because everything is locked down. I'm doing pretty good with the implant, but it's a lot more work they have to do on it. I have a little bit of vision. When it's dark, like in my room and all lights turn off, I can cover the right eye, the left eye, and glimpse some little thing.
That's good. That's really, really good news.
Yeah, so when you're ready, you can give me a call and we can talk about it more.
Thank you very much for that. So leave the number with Miss Susan, and I'm really, really, really glad to hear that. And we hope that the travel restrictions will be lifted sooner, as soon as possible, so that you can continue your travels to get your treatment done as well, Toots. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'll give Miss Susan the number.
Thank you. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back after this short break.
We all know there's nothing more refreshing than the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola straight from the cooler.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Whether it's celebrating a birthday, promotion, or just a great meal, make each moment a Coca-Cola moment.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Make sure you ask for the unforgettable flavor of a classic Coca-Cola.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Vamped Motors encourages everyone to stay home in compliance with our government's directives, which are absolutely critical to protect our islands from the coronavirus. In light of this, Vamped Motors will be closed until our Cayman Islands government gives us the all clear to return to work. Please, everyone, be safe and let's get through this together by staying apart.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Stay home. Leave Granny alone. Darling child, I mean, we can't be visiting our old people because they're more compromised. We gotta keep them safe. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going to continue with our open line. We have not connected with our guests. Not sure what's happening there, but if they do contact us, we will certainly interview them. Meanwhile, lots for us to talk about. The WhatsApp messages, emails continue to come in as well, and I will share them for you whenever the opportunity arises. This one says, good morning. Going forward, I think the government should make it a law, that work permit holders provide a bank statement to accompany their work permit renewal. So in case of situations like the present one, they can help themselves and not rely on the government. The amount should vary depending on the time they are on island. What do you think? So I think when the person says that they should provide a bank statement, so they're saying person should establish a bank account, local bank account in the Cayman Islands, and that they should show that at least they're keeping some money here in the event that a situation arises that they have to support themselves. Some people may see it as a stretch in terms of the government doing that, because you would say, well, here is a situation where individuals should really be looking out for themselves and ensuring that there is some measure of security, for them. It might be a stretch for the government to do it, but we have seen, and the Premier has stated, if I can find his statements on Friday's press briefing, talking about various things. The Premier is quoted as saying that government cannot afford to provide financial payouts to all of those facing job losses or termination. So we know that government can't provide all of it. So the same way that you're asking persons to have insurance, medical insurance, that they're required to pay into a pension scheme as well, then maybe you should show some evidence that you're trying, at least saving some money in the Cayman Islands in relation to a hard day as well. Some people may say, well, gosh, here we have to provide pensions, health insurance, and now a savings account as well. Well, Caymanians have to do the same thing. Permanent residents here, they have to pay insurance. They have to pay into their pensions and everything else as well. The point that the writer, I believe, is trying to make is that to avoid these persons becoming a charge on government's revenue, that other than the fact that they have their personal responsibility to ensure that they have some money for a rainy day, that there should be a legal requirement for it as well. One of the questions that I keep asking myself, I haven't verbalized it. We see in the United States, I think some survey had been done, and I forget what percentage of the population in the United States, if they had to come up with $400 for, let's say, an emergency, a car repair or something. There's a large percentage of the U.S. population who could not find that $400. So that means that they're living from paycheck to paycheck. How many people in the Cayman Islands find themselves in similar situations where if they had to reach under normal circumstances, if they had to reach into their pocket for $250, $300 at very short notice, how many would be able to do that? We have to start measuring the level of poverty here in the Cayman Islands. We know years and years ago there was a study that was done. I'm trying to remember the name of the organization that was here, and there was a report that was put out in terms of cost of living and how much could a person would need to live on a daily basis in the Cayman Islands, and those numbers were refuted. I'll try to see if I can get more details on that, if I remember it offhand. So that was the comments that person had. So since I started out talking about the Premier contribution and Friday's press briefing, and at some point he pointed out that we simply cannot afford to support every person financially in the Cayman Islands. Here was his contribution to the press briefing. He reported that on the successful passage of several amendments to legislation which will empower government to respond more effectively to the social and economic consequences of the COVID-19 crisis. The amendments were the National Pensions, Customs and Border Control, Labor, Immigration, Transition, and Traffic laws. And you heard me share with you some of Minister Hughes' comments, his contribution to the debate on the amendments to the traffic law. Also, following the encouraging test outcomes that were announced today, if the Premier pointed out that if the results continue as favorably as Friday's, government can look to the possibility of easing the restrictions put in place, especially in the case of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, which have had very good results and only one positive test. And on that point there, I would really like to engage you and to hear from some of you in relation to when we get to the phase where we're able to open up some of the businesses in the Cayman Islands, which ones should come first? Should we be looking at what is essential, or should we be looking at what is safe in terms of reopening? Because there are some persons who argue that we need to get the essential services back, and there are others in the medical and health field who say we should be looking at what is safe to open up, or do we combine what is essential and what is safe and try to pick those up? Does the government have some sort of committee established to transition the Cayman Islands back into business? If they do, what entities are represented on that, and how do you, the public who are affected by it, how do you get to have your say in that as well? So we can certainly talk about that also. Premier also pointed out that all educational institutions will now be closed for the rest of this academic year, And I'm going to pause there for a second because there are queries coming out from bus wardens, for instance, who are being told by their employers that the bus companies, the bus transport companies, will not, after the end of this month, will not be paid by the government. So as a result, they won't be paid, and I'm trying to get some clarity on that as well. If any of you know anything about that, certainly please feel free to share that with us. Premier also pointed out that as the academic year is still in effect, all schools, compulsory education institutions are expected to continue distance learning as well. And he also lauded and thanked CUC for picking up the tab for purchases by all senior citizens at 2 supermarkets from 7 to 8 a.m. one day last week, and for their plan to do similarly this week as well, next week, which is this week, at another supermarket as well. And again, Premier lauded CUC for that, and we want to thank CUC as well, and hopefully we will see more companies doing that as well, giving back to their communities. The Premier also pointed out that government's actions such as the pension funds being available to the workforce and the $15 million stimulus to help small businesses buoyed hopes to keep businesses afloat. And again, I'll repeat this part, pointed that government cannot afford to provide financial payouts to all those facing job losses or termination. And he also pointed out that once the pensions amendments become law, the pension holiday retroactive from the 1st of April will mean that employers and employees do not have to make pension contributions from May going forward for 6 months. However, if some wish to, they can do so voluntarily, meaning no one, that is employee or employer, can be forced to make their pensions contributions payments during this time. You can't be forced to, but you can still voluntarily do so. It is just like the withdrawals from the pensions. You don't have to, and in many instances they're pointing out that if you don't have to, you shouldn't. You should leave it there because it's a long-term investment. If you absolutely need it to continue to survive during this period, then the provisions are there for you to at least make the application and have your application considered for withdrawal of pension as well. I believe I've gone past the commercial break, Miss Susan. Time for us to take a commercial break. When we return, open line will continue, and I will continue to provide you with information that I have as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We all know there's nothing more refreshing than the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola straight from the cooler.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Whether you're celebrating a birthday, promotion, or just a great meal, make each moment a Coca-Cola moment.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Make sure you ask for the unforgettable flavor of a classic Coca-Cola.
Vamped Motors encourages everyone to stay home in compliance with our government's directives, which are absolutely critical to protect our islands from the coronavirus. In light of this, Vamped Motors will be closed until our Cayman Islands government gives us the all-clear to return to work. Please, everyone, be safe and let's get through this together by staying apart.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, formerly known as Professional Pharmacy, would like to thank the Cayman communities for their loyal support these past 18 years. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care. thorough background checks, and follow-up consultations is only the beginning. Your safety is our concern. Our staff are respected healthcare professionals whose job requires careful and precise calculations. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, where we prepare to provide exceptional care. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we care about your health.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Stay at home. Stay home. No get about it. Stay your backside home. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Miss Susan, I think we have one of our guests from Department of Tourism on the line. Let me say, Miss Carol Britton. Good morning, Miss Britton. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you as well, and our apologies for the miscommunications there, but we still have more than enough time. We have about 8 minutes before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock, and we'll keep you on after that, and we can go for whatever period of time you want to, at least up until 9:30 or further if you want to as well. First of all, we're going to be talking about the tourism-related e-learning webinar. And what I'd first like for you to do for a listening and viewing audience is to tell us exactly what a webinar is.
Okay, so a webinar is basically an online version of a class, and usually we try to keep it to an hour or less to make it, comfortable and convenient for those who go through it. So you have an online platform, and it's usually either a video or a screen share that people use in order to teach.
Okay, and this particular one webinar that we're talking about, it's the Found Ed and Promises webinar?
Correct. We have two webinars now. The Promises version was originally an in-classroom training on customer service. And so those of our in the tourism industry, many are already acquainted with Promises in the classroom version, but we're happy that we could now convert to an online platform so that we can continue to help persons in the tourism industry with their professional development. But Founded is fairly new. We were about to launch it as a seminar, a half-day seminar, when the lockdown came. So we're excited that we could also transition that to an e-learning platform so that persons can take advantage of that.
Excellent, excellent. So the Found Ed, you said, is a 40-minute webinar, and is geared towards smaller micro businesses.
Correct. So what we wanted to do is we know that there's a lot of interest in creating businesses, but a lot of persons might be intimidated or they don't know where to start. And we wanted to be able to help with that process. So we wanted to excite people so that they don't lose sight of that dream, but then also give them a one-stop shop that shows them what they need to look out for in a business, the areas that they need to focus on for a business to be healthy and sustainable, and how DOT can actually help with that. So there's a lot of stuff that we can help with that a lot of people don't know about, and we want to be able to showcase that to make the process a lot easier for everyone.
Okay. Now, does this come at any financial cost to the participants?
Now, see, that's the beautiful thing. All of our webinars are free. And so it's really advantageous to anyone who's considering going into the tourism industry. And the thing about it is, this isn't just limited to tourism. There's other people that might find it interesting or beneficial. But obviously, being from the Department of Tourism, our core focus is the tourism industry. But there's so much that this can apply to. I mean, customer service is everybody's business, and anybody who is trying to open a small or micro business could benefit from some of the information that we do share.
Okay, and tell us the date, the days that these webinars take place.
So very excited. This actually starts tomorrow. We will be hosting the webinars on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And as we go along, we'll be fleshing out the schedule. But we have Tuesdays and Thursdays lined up between now and August. All the webinars start at 11 and they're 40 minutes each. So they're very short. We try to take only what you need and nothing more. So that you can get what you need while you're at home, give you something to focus on besides, all the negatives. We want to help you prepare for that next wave of business that's to come. And so this is an excellent time to do that.
And have you had to make any adjustments based on the COVID-19 situation, or is this all geared towards recovery after COVID-19?
I'm not sure that I understand 100%, but if you could clarify that for me. Are you asking whether the webinars were created because of COVID?
Right, yes.
It did step up our timeline. We were definitely looking for ways to reach out to people and make it more convenient for a wider variety of persons and their schedules, because our classes are generally full day classes. But certainly with COVID, we took another look at this and said, okay, how can we reach people now where they're at? And of course, e-learning is like a no-brainer. So I foresee that even after COVID fades to the background, that as long as there is demand, we would continue to host these webinars, though.
Okay, we still have about 2 minutes before we go to our headline news. Can you talk about the educational part of this webinar in terms of the three most influential aspects that the focus will be placed on?
So I don't want to give away too much because I do want persons to come. But definitely, as promises, when you're on the front lines, you don't want to be trying to figure out what to do when you're on the front line. The whole point is to prepare before so it becomes second nature. And we want to give you the best foot to start on. We want to give you the knowledge and the resources and the skills that will help you do the best job when you're dealing with customers. While this is most beneficial for those on the front line, those who work in the back of house have to work in concert with those who are front of house. And so it's important that everybody is on the same page. So we do encourage anybody who works in the tourism industry to come. It always excites me when an organization decides to send their entire staff complement. And so with promises, we want to focus on the top 3 areas that you can put your efforts that will bring you the most bang for your buck when you're on the job.
Sounds good. Okay, Miss Britton, we've reached the top of the hour. We're going to have our headline news at 9 o'clock. We're going to keep you on the line, folks. When we return, the conversation with Miss Carol Britton, Tourism Development Supervisor at the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism, will continue, so please stay tuned.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access.
Local, regional, international, this is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
Wanted man Joseph Vandal Hurlston has been located and taken into custody as of Sunday. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service issued a wanted man warning on Saturday, April 25th, saying that he had been on conditional release from Her Majesty's prison since November, but the release had since been revoked. New Zealand says it has stopped community transmission of COVID-19, effectively eliminating the virus. With new cases in single figures for several days, when on Sunday, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said the virus was, quote, currently eliminated. But officials have warned against complacency, saying it does not mean a total end to new coronavirus cases. The news comes hours before New Zealand is set to move out of its toughest level of social restrictions. And Chile's government has said it will go ahead with a controversial plan to issue certificates to people who have recovered from COVID-19. The documents would be given to people to allow them to work. The World Health Organization has said there's, quote, no evidence that people who contract coronavirus are immune from being affected again. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have on the phone line with us Miss Carol Britton, who's the Tourism Development Supervisor at the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. The topic that we're discussing is tourism-related e-learning webinars. I'll give you some background information on it. Found ED and Promises webinars are an extension of the PRIDE program. PRIDE is making a commitment to take personal responsibility in delivering excellence. PRIDE is an attitude, a way of life. We spoke about Found Ed. It is a 40-minute webinar geared towards small micro businesses, Caymanian entrepreneurs seeking to learn how to run a successful business. Promises is a 40-minute webinar where participants will be educated on the 3 most influential aspects on which to focus their efforts as they serve their customers. So, Ms. Britton, in the situation that we find ourselves in now with a slowdown in tourism, there is no doubt that when countries start to get back on their feet and we see travel resume from the various countries that we seek to attract our tourism business from, we gather that it's going to become more and more competitive as far as seeking to attract tourists. So these programs that you have in place here, how will it prepare our entrepreneurs, our small businesses here to deal with that competition that we will be facing for the tourism product?
Thank you for that question. For anyone who's interested in starting a business or expanding it, while we recommend Founded, I would encourage persons to take Promises as well, because the whole point of getting us into business is to form customers, loyal customers. And a lot of times people mistake repeat business for loyalty, and they're two completely different things. And so what Promises does is show you how to create loyal customers. And without hopefully spoiling the workshop, the webinar, loyalty, people who are loyal to you stick with you through thick and thin. They're not worried that you might be more costly. They are not worried that you may be further away. They're committed to you as a brand. And when we think of Cayman Islands as a brand and as a destination, that's what we're aiming for. So the very substance of these webinars, will teach you exactly how to capitalize on that. And hopefully just, if we are successful at it, what we do is eliminate our competitors as an option. It becomes that the Cayman Islands is the only option for those who we are marketing to.
Okay. You wanted to say some more on that? I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I interrupted you there.
I think that right now there is a lot of pent up desire to travel and to move about freely the way that we used to. And once we come out of this, people are going to be ready to travel. It may not look the same as it did before, and maybe we might even find that we have persons coming to the Cayman Islands that never came here before, from areas that we didn't really receive a lot of guests from. And that is why now it's so important. A lot of this will be dependent on who opens up their borders first, and once we're able to prepare ourselves and be ready for that eventuality, we will be in a great position to capitalize on that pent-up demand.
Okay. Now, what type, for someone to participate in this webinar, two things I want you to talk about. What type of hardware a person will need to have to participate, and about registration as well, because you're talking about the 28th, tomorrow. And let's talk about registration as well.
So in order to register, I'll start with that first.
Yes, sure.
Registration takes place through our website. It's Pride, that's PRIDE .ourcayman.ky. Okay. And once you're there, you'll see a button to either register for Promises webinar or Founded webinar.
Okay, can you repeat that again, just in case some of our listeners are writing it down?
Okay, so that website again for registration is pride.ourcayman.ky.
Okay.
And once you register, you will get a confirmation email. That email goes to you, and it also comes to us. Please enter your email address, because this is how we will send you the link to connect to the webinar. The webinar will be using a platform called GoToMeeting. It's very similar to Zoom. So for anyone who's already had a meeting or done a webinar via Zoom, it should be very familiar to you, the way that it works. You can use either your computer or your smartphone, providing your smartphone can support Windows 8 or higher, you'll be fine. So if you're using your phone, there is an app that you can download for GoToMeeting. And then you'll use the link that we email you to connect.
Okay, that sounds good. Go ahead.
The cool thing about our webinars is that it mimics our in-classroom training. And so at the end of the webinar, you would receive a certificate for attending. And these certificates are widely regarded and known in the tourism industry. People can put this on their resume as an evidence of their extended training. And so we encourage you to treat that like gold, especially if you're doing this from a transportation point of view.
Okay, and can you repeat again the days that it will run and the time as well for those interested?
So again, these webinars, which are absolutely free, will be taking place on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. They're 40 minutes. I don't want anybody to be nervous or anything about taking it. You can take notes if you so desire, but we will be recording the webinars, and then after the fact, we send them to you, so that anything that you felt you didn't quite miss or you wanted to go over again, it's there for you. And we do make ourselves available after the webinar for a short period of time to answer your topmost questions. And then we also provide an email address so that if after the fact you do have other questions, you're more than free to email us and we can answer those for you.
Okay. So, Ms. Britton, again, for those persons who are already in the tourism industry, as well as those who are maybe thinking about entering in it, making some changes, whether it be laterally or otherwise as a result of COVID-19, again, what do you say to them?
This is the time to do it. Every cloud has a silver lining. And one of the things that we struggle most for in this world is time. We have a finite amount of it, and there are always so many demands on it. Right now, we have less demands on our time in many regards. And so this is the time for preparation. We can educate ourselves. We can prepare ourselves for the next wave of business. And so this isn't all doom and gloom. This is actually an opportunity that we can take advantage of if only we have the right mindset. And so I encourage everyone to use this to prepare. Were there changes that you wanted to make in your business? Now's the time to start thinking about that. Were there product offerings or service offerings that you wanted to do, but you didn't have the time to get around to develop? Now's the time to think about that. And planning is so key to success. So right now, you have the ability to do that, and we want to help you.
Okay. Does this help frontlines? Would this help frontline staff as well to up their skills?
Most definitely.
In terms
most
of
definitely.
job opportunities and everything? Because
Most definitely.
When we start to open back up in terms of our tourism product, there will be some time frame before we're able to get those workers who are off island back on island. We know that some Caymanians feel that they are sometimes blocked out of the tourism industry. This may give them an opportunity to hone their skills, up their game, and be able to replace some of those persons that we would normally bring back in as well.
Yes, of course. That's an excellent point. When this pool is smaller, each fish gets more prominence, but you still have to be prepared.
Yes.
Something that someone very near and dear to me once taught me is that good luck is when preparation and opportunity collide.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of times when people are presented with opportunities that they can't take advantage of because they're not prepared. And then there's people who are prepared but don't have the opportunities. And now is that sweet spot where you have the time to prepare and the opportunities will come as well. So if you have ever dreamed of working in the tourism industry and you're Caymanian, you're here, you want to get in, this is an excellent time. I can't stress that enough. Please come talk to us. If you have questions, just reach out to us through our website. or you can email pride@caymanislands.ky for more information. But if you're ready now to go ahead and register, visit our website, pride.ourcayman.ky. Click on one of the links or both and register for our webinars. They're absolutely free, and they will help to give you another perspective on customer service, on business, and running one that's successful. Things that a lot of times we have great ideas and we just jump in, but we don't consider everything. And, that's actually something that makes a lot of business owners quite successful, a lot of entrepreneurs, because they have a lot of grit and a lot of balls.
Sure. Now, Ms. Britton,
but
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that online, some of our listeners are asking for contact phone numbers as well as the link again to connect to the webinar. If you could repeat those. What we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to give you an opportunity to put all of that information back out there as well, and to make any final comments that you want to give also. Folks, please stay tuned. The conversation with Miss Carol Britton, Tourism Development Supervisor at the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism, talking about their Pride webinar taking place tomorrow, the 28th of April, starting tomorrow, but it will be, and I'll let her tell you that, every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 11 o'clock in the morning. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Supermarket shoppers, please pay attention. Until further notice,
members of the public will only be allowed to shop by surname. Adults with last names beginning in A through K will be allowed to enter supermarkets in order to shop for essential goods on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Adults with last name beginning in L through Z will be allowed to enter supermarkets in order to shop for essential goods on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Once again, adults with last names beginning in A through K will be allowed to enter supermarkets in order to shop for essential goods on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Adults with last name beginning in L through Z will be allowed to enter supermarkets in order to shop for essential goods on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. This has been a public service announcement from Radio Cayman, your official radio station.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news. Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Social distancing. Well, that means you're to keep a distance of 3 to 6 feet away from the person next to you. Or in layman's term, if you can see the color of the eye next to you, you're too close. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Cayman kind.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're having a discussion about the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism's Pride webinar taking place starting this month. The conversation is taking place with Miss Carol Britton, who's the Tourism Development Supervisor. We would have normally had Miss Rosa Harris, the Director of the Department of Tourism, with us as well, but because of the little glitch that we had, and she has another meeting at 9 o'clock. But Miss Britton is doing an excellent job in explaining everything. She spoke about this, there is always a silver lining, and there's also a saying that goes that luck is a combination of design and desire. So for those of you who are in the tourism field or want to get into it, this is your lucky day, or tomorrow can be your lucky day, because the Department of Tourism, they have designed the Pride webinar for you, and all you have to do is have the desire to participate. And Miss Britton will tell you how you go about participating. Will you, Miss Britton?
Yes. Yeah, like I said, we'll be hosting our webinars on GoToMeeting, and it's a very comfortable platform to use. While we're talking and doing the webinar, you can go ahead and type your questions in the chat, and then at the end of the webinar, we take the next 10 to 15 minutes to answer the top questions, and we keep the class sizes at 20 persons so that if you have a question or a comment, you do have that chance to be heard. We don't want this to be large and impersonal. We certainly want to continue that spirit of hospitality, not just to our visitors to the Cayman Islands, but starting at home and with our own people within these classes. So we do try to make it very comfortable and personal as much as possible. And again, for anyone who's interested, we want you to go to our website and register with us at pride.ourcayman.ky. If you do have questions and you wanted to talk to someone now, you can also either email me at pride@caymanislands.ky. That email address actually goes to all of our trainers. And these webinars are absolutely free. So definitely, we don't want you to worry about money at this point. We just want you to go ahead and take advantage of what we have to offer. These classes will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m., short 40 minutes. You're in, you're out. You get the information that you need. And then you get a certificate at the end that you could put in your resume or present to your employer. One of the cool things is that will show initiative, because there are several businesses in the Cayman Islands tourism industry that require you to go through this training. Okay. And so if you have this already in your possession, you are already one step ahead of the game.
Sounds great. And again, it's for free.
Absolutely free, 100% gratis. There is absolutely no charge but your time and your willingness to give us your attention and your open-mindedness to what we have to share.
Okay. Now, one clarification also that someone is seeking. It's every Tuesday and Thursday, continuing until when?
We have a schedule up until August, but this is a very fluid process, so we can extend that. But for now, we have dates on our website that show anywhere between tomorrow and August.
Mm-hmm. But you would encourage, if people really want to get on the train in terms of recovery, your encouragement would be do it as early as possible to have that on your plate.
Oh yeah, of course. If the online versions mimic our in-class versions, one thing I can tell you is that our classes fill up really fast, and we often have waiting lists for if someone drops out. So I would encourage you to sign up for the first available workshop, the first available webinar, my pardon, um, and take advantage of this while you can, because we do have a limited amount of space. We want you to get in, get the information, take your mind off of everything at the same time, and just learn something that will help your future self.
Okay. Again, I think I may have asked this before, but I'll get you to repeat it. One more in terms of given the areas of tourism that it is aimed at, for instance, taxi drivers and other aspects of the tourism industry. Can you repeat that for us again, also, Ms. Britton?
So for anyone who has done or is trying to enter transportation industry, this is actually a requirement to come to our classes, particularly promises.
Mm-hmm.
It's tied to your ability to get a license. And they use the information that we present in our classes for the test. So this is very advantageous for anybody who wants to get into the transportation industry. For specific businesses, there are certain ones that partner with us and in accommodations and water sports and airlines that require their staff to come to us.
Mm-hmm.
So having this training under your belt will definitely help you be viewed in a positive light. They already know that you can speak the language and that you understand the principles that will help them be successful when you come to them with this training. And then honestly, for anyone who's in tourism, why would you not want to learn something that will help hone and refine your skills when dealing with people?
Yep.
A lot of times people feel like, oh, I've done this before, I work in this all the time, but we can always benefit from another viewpoint, and repetition deepens impression. If you repeat good things, it becomes second nature. If you repeat bad things, it also becomes second nature. And just because you've always done something a certain way doesn't mean it's the best way. And what we want to present to you is the best way to go about customer service, the best way to set up a business.
Sure. And there are always new strategies that are coming online as well.
Definitely. Yeah. So we can expose you to a lot of that, and when we find out as we go through these classes and we find out some of the things that people are facing, it helps us to educate ourselves on what we present to you as well. Yes. So it's always a growing, evolving process, and we want to do everything within our power to set you up for success.
Okay, Ms. Britton, we want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well. Go right ahead.
I am so passionate about helping people, and I would love it if persons who want to get into tourism, persons who are already in tourism and need a little extra help, persons that need a refresher, or want to expand their existing business into other avenues would join us at the Pride unit of the Department of Tourism for some training. We want to set you up for success. We try not to take too much of your time. It's a short session, 40 minutes only. And the beautiful thing is at the end of it, you get a copy of it for you to review and consistently refer back to. So you have the opportunity to constantly refresh. And all it takes is visiting our website, pride.ourcayman.ky, and just entering a few details and spending 40 minutes with us.
Sounds great.
It's easy.
Yes, sounds great. And based on your previous the level of participation in your previous workshops and everything else, I think you're going to get a good response to this as well. And certainly I'd echo your sentiments and encourage anyone who has an interest, get out there and participate in this webinar as well. Ms. Britton, want to thank you very much for being on. Again, we apologize for the little communications hiccup there, but there's always a silver lining.
There you go, right?
You have a great day, and please stay safe as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Same to you.
Okay. Folks, please stay tuned. We're going to have our open line continue after this commercial break.
We all know there's nothing more refreshing than the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola straight from the cooler.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Whether we're celebrating a birthday, promotion, or just a great meal, make each moment a Coca-Cola moment.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Make sure you ask for the unforgettable flavor of a classic Coca-Cola.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Insurance is complicated. Make your life easier and better protected with comprehensive financial solutions from FIS Insurance Brokers with plans from life, health, property insurance, motor, public liability, and professional liability insurance. Whether you're protecting your family or your business, leave nothing to chance. Understand your options and protect yourself for the future. Speak to your FIS Insurance Broker agent today, located on Shedden Road by MoneyGram, or call 623-5616.
Hello, Cayman. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Essential staff, police officers, immigration, customs, doctors, nurses, first responders, they are essential staff. So if you got to ask, then you ain't. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 3 callers on hold, but I have some messages, emails as well. So we're going to try to share everything up equally here, as much as we possibly can. First of all, we're going to send a big shout out to happy birthday to Yvonne, and that's coming from your mother, Paula, Miss Paula Scott. Yvonne celebrating her birthday today as well. So happy birthday to you, Yvonne, from your mother, Paula Scott. One of our listeners wanted to know, where do I pay a traffic ticket and the office, if the office is closed, I am not computer literate. So I'll try to see if I can find information in relation to the payment of traffic tickets other than online. And then one other listener wanted to know, if your driver's license is up, how do you go about renewing it? I think the renewal online as well. You go to the DVDL website, and you can, I believe, do that online as well. But I will get more details in relation to all of these, for you. Let's go to the phone lines now. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, see.
How are you?
You know who this is?
I haven't picked up the voice yet, but if you keep talking, I soon will.
Dalvin.
Hey, I was thinking about you the other day. I hadn't heard from you in a long, long time.
I just couldn't get on OC.
Couldn't? Really? You mean we're that popular?
Gotta be OC. I'm that popular now. I got one thing to say about what a young lady said in a book. I got a call in. I want to make a comment about that. Can I do it?
Yeah. Go ahead. As long as it's not libelous in any way.
No. And I know.
Okay.
The lady said about it depends on the first one open up. We're gonna get a lot of tourists, and she's 100% right about that. If we stay back and wait, we're gonna lose a lot of tourists.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll depend on where the tourists are coming from as well, whether or not they're allowed to leave there, whether or not their borders are open also. So
yeah, what she said depends on the first one open up too. If we open up very quick, everybody gonna start looking where the Cayman Island look up. We're gonna go to the Cayman Island.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but about this other guy now, he called in and said something that I don't be nobody in Cayman Islands like. Because I'm not afraid to tell nobody, you was the first one. Give me a riding pair of shoes, give me a helmet, and give me a T-shirt. Not that I need it, but you know I'm an old rider, man. I like to go. I was riding barefoot.
Barefoot.
So not that I need it, but I can make that young guy know that he was wrong to say something else. But what I would have did was you cut him off. I would have made him explain to the public what he know, why you would treat Cayman and bottom Cayman style.
But see, at first, notice when he said it at first, I commented and I still kept him online to allow him to talk. But then, when he started to go off the rails there again, I can go off the rails as well. I can show the bad side of OC also, which I have to keep my composure as the moderator of the show. It's important for me to keep my composure when everything is going haywire around me. I'm the one who has to keep his cool, and I need to do that.
I agree 100%, but I would ask him, tell me why I want Cayman people start, because nobody Cayman know you're that kind of person. Made him feel shame on the radio. But that's all I would say. But like I say, when you come to athletes, I can't tell you nothing about other things, but when you come to riding, you're the first one going to reach out a hand to anybody Cayman Island.
Oh, yeah. And that's my passion. Yep, definitely.
But that's what I'm saying now. I can tell you about that. Me and you and Kenyan ride the second day. You came and said, Darwin, here, this. I said, I don't need this, man. But I said, no. I said, okay, I appreciate it. And I took it.
Yep.
And I know many people have told me the same thing about you. So that man needed to, I would challenge that man to come back and to get on radio and say, well, Mr. O.C., this is what I can say about you. I want to hear it, Mr. O.C.
Okay. Thank you very much for that support. Thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. Next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Not bad at all. Just refreshing what that caller talked about you with riding. I can remember when I was in Grand Cayman, my youngest son was very young. I bought him a bicycle, and every Sunday, you and him would go down to Papagayo.
Yes.
Up to Rum Point. But, and I congratulate you for that. But that's not what I'm really calling about this morning. A week or so ago, I called you about the price gouging at certain supermarkets in Cayman.
Yes.
I didn't get back an answer from you. But on Saturday, I went to the same supermarket that is stacking up everything of 300-400%.
Wow.
On it. We had 12.5 surefine eggs for $9.95. I went to another supermarket and I got 3 dozen eggs 2 packs of Hills Fire Farm or something like that's its name for a little bit over $7.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the government need to know about this price gouging that is going on to the store and do something about it.
Okay. But there are other options there for you, so you were able to go to another store and get it for that, because if the store that has the prices so high, I don't know how they can remain competitive if you can get offers at other stores for, but then that may not be the case with every item, I would guess.
Well, like I told you the week before or something like that, one thing of cold medicine,
Mm-hmm.
off-brand,
$29.
$29.
Yes.
And if I don't have the time to go through, because of the situation it is now. You got to rush in and rush back to go through all the items and compare them with another store.
Yes.
But I do know for a fact, because the barge was in on Thursday, and every store had an abundance of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
This particular store, when I went in there, because Saturday was my day of shopping,
Mm-hmm.
and I went in there and looked around for some stuff, and I seen this. So I said I would call you and see what you can find out and why this store is so much more expensive than the rest of the stores.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Again, I'm going to do the research in relation to the price gouging law, because we know after Hurricane Ivan, one was brought in, and I'll try to get some answers from you in terms of what the legislation is, how it relates to it, if we have legislation in that regard as well. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's take the other caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I thank you very much for your service. Your entire life has been dedicated to public service in the Cayman Islands. And it looks like every time you have retired, you have put on new tires. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks for all the correspondence that you share with me as well.
Yes. I'd like to share with you this morning that there's the blood bank, our national blood bank,
yes,
has an auxiliary site which is open 1 day per week at the Red Cross building. We thank the Red Cross for offering their facility on the second floor on Thursday between the time of 10 a.m., until 3 p.m., 10 a.m. until 3 p.m., you're able to come and give, and observing all the rules of social distancing, and filling out your form and enabling you to give your pint, which can be so effective in saving lives. If you do not have police clearance based on your name for that day, you can apply to the blood bank's hotline, which is 244-2674 or 244-2669, and relate to them. And they will then direct you. Or you can go to giveblood.ky website, and you can apply for the form, which will be sent to you by email, that you can come and do your civic duty. It is so important. We did it last Friday. It was successful. We thank those who attended, and we look forward to the public assisting us again, in spite of the fact that the same people who run our blood bank are the ones who do our tests, who manage the laboratory testing, which have developed exponentially because of the generosity of Mrs. Oldie and Mr. Coe and Mr. Merrin and the Darts, who were able to bring in our test kits from South Korea.
Yes.
That testing will enable us and our government to fast track and put data in place to be able to plot the way forward and enable us to go back to work as soon as is possible. We thank them so much. We thank our public. We thank our relentless laboratory staff at the HSA who have been doing more than their due to make sure that tests are done, they're completed, they're done according to the international standards, and we're in compliance with our accreditation as the only Joint Commission internationally accredited laboratory in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. And we want to thank you also, for being the champion of and leading the drive when it comes to blood donation in the Cayman Islands as well, sir.
I thank you very much, and I thank my team, which is Cayman Blood Donor Service, our NGO, that's been working in the background to make sure that our obligations as a community are met. We can't import blood at the moment because nobody is selling. Mm-hmm. And as such, we are being self-sourcing while being in full compliance with very high international standards to enable us to have a good supply to make sure that those who need it can get it. When blood is needed, nothing else can do.
Yes.
I thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I really like to really express profound thanks because you're doing your duty free of cost with very valuable time. And sometimes you're taking a little bit of slack and abuse for it, but you are doing a remarkable and important job. And Radio Cayman, you are indispensable. Nobody else can take your place. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, sir. You stay safe as well. All the best. Time for us to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Sending money to your family overseas shouldn't be a full-day process. Stop waiting in lines. MoneyGram, the safest and most convenient way to send money worldwide, offering 3 convenient locations: Shedden Road, Baden Water Sports in West Bay, and at FIS BRAC Agency in Cayman Brac. MoneyGram by Financial Integrated Services. Visit fiscayman.com for more information on MoneyGram services. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs, with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore.
Would you like to cancel a work permit that was submitted before or during COVID-19? Are your PR fees due soon and unsure what to do? Want to know the status of a submitted work permit? Email work@administration@gov.ky today. That's WORC@administration@gov.ky, or visit www.work.worc.ky today.
This is a public service announcement from your Radio Cayman, your community radio station. Here are some coronavirus prevention tips.
Home isolation means staying indoors and completely avoiding contact with other people. You need to do this if you have symptoms of COVID-19. If you are practicing home isolation, you should stay in a well-ventilated room with a window to outside that can be opened separate from other people in your home. Keep the door closed and use a separate bathroom from the rest of the household, if available. If you have to share these facilities, regular sterilization will be required. Consider drawing up a bathroom schedule for washing or bathing, and have the isolated person using the facilities last.
For the latest updates and information, please visit hsa.ky/public-health/coronavirus or gov.ky/coronavirus.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to share a WhatsApp message with you and an email press release that we just received. Some good news as well. This one says, I agree the opening of the islands should begin with the smaller islands. Grand Cayman should wait until more people leave. Also open what is essential and safe. We still do not know who is hiding on island with the virus. The Premier and his government are doing a good job. See you, water company, Flow. Supermarkets can do much better. They pull in millions of dollars. Well, we see what CUC did the other day as well, and they're doing again today in terms of elderly persons paying their grocery bills between 7 and 8 o'clock at particular supermarkets. Here's one as well. This one reads that Foster Group helps seniors maintain contact with loved ones. Elderly residents in local care homes will enjoy increased contact with families and friends due to a thoughtful donation by the Foster's Group. Car City Manager Taylor Foster gave 13 smartphones to the Ministry of Community Affairs Chief Officer Ms. Teresa Echenike on Wednesday, the 22nd of April, 2020. The devices chosen for their wide screens will allow seniors to take part in WhatsApp calls and video chats during this time of restricted visits. The donation will benefit residents in self-isolation at the Department of Children and Family Services Golden Age Home, Maple House, and Cockernell Community Care Center residential facilities, and also those at the Pines Retirement Home, operated by the National Council of Voluntary Organizations. These phones will continue to be used in the facilities even after the restrictions end to encourage close ongoing contact between residents and families. The Foster's Group is proud to be able to support this initiative, said its representative. And they're quoted, in times like this, with so many things going on around us, it's important that we don't forget our elders. With the help from Flo, we were able to find a solution to help keep them connected with their loved ones while maintaining social distance. Flo has also agreed to assist by enhancing the bandwidth speed at each of the homes, Mr. Foster added. Ms. Echenike thanked the Foster's Group for supporting the ministry in such an important initiative. She's quoted as saying, in an effort to ensure the safety of our seniors, visits to home care, to care home facilities in the Cayman Islands were suspended last month in line with the government's shelter-in-place provisions. While giving them some measure of protection against COVID-19, it has isolated the elderly who look forward to seeing their weekly visitors. This donation is truly Cayman kind in action, and for this we are most grateful. During the handover, Mr. Foster and Ms. Echenike observed social distancing as well in this regard. Again, want to thank Foster's and Flo for that, and to point out that, and this is just for giving you as information, not as any criticism or anything else, but the deaths that have taken place, the majority of the deaths that have taken place as a result of COVID-19 in one of our sister jurisdictions, Bermuda, who has a similar population to ours, has taken place in one of the care homes there, goes to show you the vulnerability of those residents of those care homes. We see in the United States, we see in Europe, we see in the United Kingdom as well, many deaths taking place there. So we have to commend the government here and the Department of Children and Family Services for what they have done and continue to do to keep the elderly safe. And so far, we thank God we have not had any deaths related to COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands, and in particular our care homes as well, because they are the most vulnerable, and we need to continue to do that as well. And we want to see, and I'm sure that we will see, more companies step up to the plate as well. I believe that when we see things starting to, businesses starting to be able to reestablish themselves, from their home base, that we will see more. We haven't heard too much about additional donations being made to the fund that was established, that was to be established and was seeded by the DART Corporation in terms of the $1 million and seeking to match, funds as well. And we hope and we trust that we see more and more of that as well, because there are many, many companies in the Cayman Islands that make millions and millions of dollars as a result of the stable, friendly environment that we provide here in the Cayman Islands for them to do business, and they need to pay it back, to give it back as well, in terms of showing their gratitude. Also, this other WhatsApp message says, Mr. Connor, the time for elderly at supermarkets needs to change because some of those elderly do not get out of bed until 8 a.m. Well, we're hoping, that with the continued success that we're getting in relation to our fight against COVID-19, that some of these restrictions will be removed altogether at some, in the not too distant future as well. I think we are going to take our last call for the morning. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks.
I just want to say, if you're going to add a panelist there, good morning to everybody.
No, just me.
Okay, Mr. Connor, I'm wondering if you can find out for me. I know that depends for the elderly. I'm going to make it clear now because people are making this sound like I'm saying something different. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about depends for the elderly. I know that they were duty free up until September last year. I brought in depends. I call them Pampers. Mm-hmm. I brought them in for my parents, only to be charged on Saturday on here for depends for the elderly, and they're telling the public that they're helping the elderly. They just put the pens now dutable.
So you brought them in yourself, and this was a charge by customs?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I brought them in myself because I had to bring in papas for a newborn baby that were not available on the island. And Mr. O.C., let me tell you, I spoke personally to Mr. Charles Clifford before clearing those things, and not even to him seems to be aware that the pens are now durable. Also, I spoke with Mr. Roy McTaggart from Finance, and he said to the best of his knowledge, the pens were duty-free.
Okay, and you dealt directly with customs, or did you do it through a broker?
No, I did it directly with customs.
Okay.
Directly with customs. And I'm saying, when I spoke with Mr. Charles Clifford, because I said to him the Pampers were not available on the island, it was a newborn baby, and I think that I should have been given a little leeway because there were no Pampers for the baby on the island, so I had to go bring them in. I was asking for the duties to be waived on the baby Pampers, and Mr. Clifford told me then, well, for me to get that, I would have to speak with finance, Mr. Roy McTaggart and them. They were the only ones that could do so. Mr. Roy was very helpful to me, and I want to say that he is trying, because he told me that he would still try and waive it. It's not normally done, but under the circumstances of me having to bring him in due to the Pampers not being available on the island, he would try and assist me.
Okay.
And he told me that the pants were duty-free then. And only customs is there telling me that the pants are not duty-free.
Okay. I think they have a list. There's somewhere where you can go and find a listing in terms of what is and what isn't. But again, people talk about the cost of living here in the Cayman Islands, and to me, that there are certain things that are basic necessities that we need. The government needs to look at to see whether or not they can give some relief to the public in that regard. And maybe this is a good time to look at that. Now, we know, yes, that government's revenue is going to be under tremendous amount of stress because of the unforeseen expenditures that have had to take place now. But again, other people are hurting as well, and we really need to look to see where we can give the regular folks a break on some of these items as well. I'll inquire into that, look into that for you caller as well, to see if I can find that list and see whether or not those items, or what's the position on those items as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today, and I believe press briefings will resume today again at 2 o'clock. You can follow them live on Radio Cayman as well. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. FIS MoneyGram, the safest and most convenient way to send money worldwide. MoneyGram, bringing you closer. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only two species that we have, on the island.